A biblical perspective on life, culture and current events. This is 2020 on Vision.
In our modern complicated world, young people are increasingly struggling with areas of mental health, motivation, friendships, and all kinds of other challenges. So it's always encouraging to meet Christian people that are stepping into that void, bringing Jesus and also bringing good sound principles that help young people transition through their teenage years. And I have one such group of young people with me right now. They are called JC Action Sports. They are BMX riders. They tour around Australia, performing in schools, concerts, churches, you name it, bringing the gospel, also bringing some amazing BMX bike tricks. And I want to welcome Josh, Jarrell and Jack into the studio today.
It's awesome to be here.
Hey. Yeah, what's up?
Well, it's awesome to be with three really cool people, and I'm going to be taking notes today to try and be as cool as you guys. I know I'm not going to get there, but I'm going to try, okay? I'm going to try and reach those heights. But, Josh, I just want to ask you, you're the longest serving member of the team, I think. In a nutshell, what is the heart behind JC Action Sports?
Yeah, so I actually joined in 2010. Yes, I'm aging myself there, but the heart behind JC is to use the skills and gifts that we have, being action sports, so being BMX, motocross, skating, scooters, to inspire the next generation, to share the gospel of Jesus Christ in a way that they can palate. It's like using honey so they can swallow it. And, when somebody does something you're interested in, you're more likely to listen. What we've found is, particularly with this current generation of young people, action sports is a universal language, just like love is a universal language. They all have grown up with action sports, and we can give them this amazing experience, even in such a short time, between 20 to 45 minutes, that opens them up to receiving something from you. And the one thing we can tell you is young people are hungry. They're hungry for hope. They're hungry for substance. They're hungry for input, especially from older people out there that are doing cool things. So the real heart that we have is to use the gifts we've been given, to steward them well, to impact the next generation for Jesus, and to share important messages to them, and especially start conversations about things that people don't like to talk about.
Yep. Yeah, awesome. And Jarrell, what about you? Why are you involved in JC Action Sports?
Yeah, look, I used to watch JC Action Sports back when they were called JC Epidemic. And when was that?
2013, I believe we met.
2013. I actually used to watch them at Easterfest. I don't know if you remember much about that in Toowoomba. And that, yeah, they really struck a chord with me, sort of like back then. And I realised that's something I really wanted to be a part of. And they came up to Mackay, which is where I'm from, earlier in the year, and they did a program with my dad's company. It's called Reconcile Life, and we did a bit of talks around like domestic family violence and stuff like that. And yeah, they rang me up a couple of weeks after. I think Josh rang me. And he sort of asked me to come down here for a couple of weeks and to be involved, and I was like, yeah, it's sort of like a no-brainer, and I'm like help to, I suppose, be a light as well, and to sort of spread the word for a lot of these young kids.
Yeah, I like how you said domestic violence thing, because that's a really hot topic at the moment. It's a real issue.
Yeah, well,
and so you guys are actually using current issues and real current, I guess you call it a need or a crisis in society to sort of bring the gospel in to that setting. That's really cool. Yeah. And what about you, Jack? So tell us about your involvement with JC Action Sports. How did that happen?
Yeah, so I go by a rap name called T Cozy, and I'm a rapper. I guess first and foremost, I'm a son, but I'm a rapper as well, and that's my gifting, and that's how I get to engage and use that as a bridging way to get involved with these young people. So I see rap as like a vehicle, and I get to speak their language, because when I was a young kid, rap had a really, really big influence on me, but all in negative ways, just because a lot of the rap I was listening to was very negative. It had, a lot of worldly influences and, very ungodly like vices that were attached to it. So it led me down a really bad path. So now I'm trying to use the God-given gift in my life to also inspire young people, encourage them, and then also kind of plant a seed for life, because there's power of life and death in our tongue. But then also they get to see my music, and it's all God glorifying. So, yeah, that's why they can connect to it, and then they start listening to it, and then, just even from listening to that, hopefully that it's bringing life to them. So, yeah, I got involved a couple of years ago, and haven't looked back ever since. So it's been amazing.
That's really cool. So you guys obviously go into schools, into churches, into youth groups. And Josh, tell me, so as well as the domestic violence issue, what other hot topics do you kind of address and use to leverage the gospel into young people's lives, like sort of courses and topics you talk about?
Yeah. So to be honest, there's nothing really off topic, because we believe that we are called to speak into every area, to bring life, light and increase into every area, and to be voice pieces by our actions and our words. So we attack a lot of topics. To give you some quick stats, we actually were able to reach around 110,000 young people in schools and at events across Australia last year.
In 1 year?
In 1 year.
That's amazing.
With a message of hope, whether that be the gospel, whether that be talking about mental health. And there's a few different ways we approach mental health. Generally speaking, we use a positive preemptive approach.
Yep.
Youth worker talk there, former chappie.
Yep.
But we always take an encouragement approach rather than telling people not to do something.
Yep.
So we always want to be encouraging Christ values that actually override and counteract these negative things. So we talk about domestic violence and healthy relationships by championing what a healthy relationship looks like, by showing respect for one another, by overcoming fears together, by looking out for each other, by listening to one another. We speak about healthy relationships and domestic violence in all different tours and regions. Mental health has been a big one. Resiliency is another big one.
Yep.
The ability to bounce back. Christ is all about resurrection power. Death never gets the final word. And if young people can get that in their world, there's nothing they can't do. So we use principles from Christ to teach these young people about that. Being a good friend is another major topic we talk about. Obviously, we share our testimonies, our personal stories, how we came to know Jesus, our faith, what that looks like. A lot of the messages we often share are encouraging people to use the gifts that they have in their hand, like we use the gifts that we have in our hand to serve, bless, and love on their community as well.
Yeah, I love it. So good. So, yeah, all those things are hot topics, aren't they? Resilience, mental health, as we said earlier, domestic violence. And that's amazing. 110,000 people last year reached for Jesus. And so you guys are all riding BMX bikes, or just two of you? Like, are you riding a bike too? So you're the rapper?
Just rapping.
Yeah, funny story. When they came up in May, they saw the heart I had for it, and how I, that was a massive dream of mine. And they were actually, they were such a blessing. They actually gave me a free BMX. So since the end of May, I've literally been riding every day. So it's an amazing blessing.
Yeah.
And I'm really fortunate enough, not just to ride BMX, but to ride for this cause, to be able to promote the message of hope and the message of Jesus Christ, and it's awesome.
That's cool.
It's really awesome.
It's funny, BMX bikes were really big when I was a kid, and I'm giving away my age now, Josh. And I had one, and I was actually in a movie called BMX Bandits.
Yeah, awesome. I borrowed Nicole Kidman's hair.
Yeah, look, I don't want to over talk it up, but let's just say she was a terrible actor back then, and people like me kind of really helped her out. I don't want to be too proud about it, but she was rubbish. Okay, she was rubbish, and so we were all in that movie as kids. And then they sort of died out, BMX bikes, and now they've had this resurgence or this revival. So you guys are obviously really touching something very current at the moment, aren't you? Riding BMX bikes and kids watching all the tricks you do. What's your most dangerous trick, Josh?
It's a funny one because it's not what you would think. Everybody thinks backflip. They're actually really easy.
Are they?
Extremely easy. It's just a matter of looking and pulling in the right direction and they come around. But some of the more technical ones are actually what will get you. They're the ones where your teeth are getting a bit close to the coping, which is the metal bar across the top of the ramp. Or there's one particular trick, our half pipe. For those listening, I'm going to try and describe this pretty well. It's a very special truck. It's one of a kind in the world. It sits on the back of an MR truck and it hydraulically folds out like a transformer. Its name is Truck Norris.
I love it.
And we have some railings. So it's a 7-foot tall half pipe on the back of a truck. So when you're on the top of that, you're sitting 15 odd feet in the air just at the start. That's before you go in the air. But we have handrails on the back that are to stop people falling off. And the most dangerous thing I've probably ever done was I used to jump out and grind that with my stunt pegs, which is a massive drop on the other side. And you're on less than 2 centimeters worth of metal.
Yeah.
And then jump back in. And occasionally it got pretty scary, but, you know, by God's grace and protection, we still get to do this every day.
Well, I just saw Josh do a bunny hop over the other 2 lads who are in the studio with me now, and he did that twice. So that's really cool. So if someone, is listening across Australia, you guys will really travel anywhere, won't you? If a church or a youth group or a school want you to come in and just talk to the kids about resilience, domestic violence, about healthy relationships, you have a truck and you will travel. So how do people find you guys easily, Josh? What's the best way of connecting?
Yeah, so obviously social media is a great way. Facebook, Instagram, @JC Action Sports. We're on there. You can also keep up to date with what we're up to when we're on tour and that sort of stuff as well on there.
Yep.
Our website is another great place to connect with us, which actually has an expressions of interest form on there.
Yep.
And we are currently touring all around Queensland and Australia. We honestly will go anywhere that we feel called to go and led to go, as far north and as far south or west as we can, as long as we can make it happen. But we're always looking for churches specifically to partner with, because part of what we like to do is bridge that gap in the community.
Yep.
Use what we do, which is cool.
Yep.
Quotation marks.
Yep.
To bridge the gap between community and church.
Yeah.
And we believe that we're called to be both prophets and kings.
Yep.
You know? So we're called to preach and we're called to be kings in society and do both well and bring the two lots of people together.
Love it.
And so if we can lend our credibility to any churches, any youth ministries, any events, we like to do that.
Yeah, you're up for the challenge. Well, I love it. Well, that's JC Action Sports. You can check them out on their website, all their social media. I think it'd be fitting if Jack busted out his favourite rap song right now as we finish this conversation today, Jack. That's right. Jack's right now thinking, what's my favourite rap song?
I normally make stuff up on the spot. So
well, let's do it, Jack. Let's rap about how Nicole Kidman needs to be saved and she needs to learn how to act as good as me. That's a good... No, I'm only kidding. Whatever you want to do, mate, let's go for it.
We actually put him on the spot in schools and get the kids to come up with some words for him to rap, because we don't like him being able to plan. We like a freestyle rap.
Okay, let's go. Vision Radio.
Yep, Vision Radio.
Shining Light.
Helping
people look to God daily.
All right. Awesome.
Let's do it.
Vision Radio, shining light, and helping people look to God daily.
And fluffy unicorns.
And fluffy unicorns. Yeah, okay. See, my name's T. Cozy. I'm just spitting some liquid poetry straight off the top of the dome. Here we go. See, I'm just on Vision Radio, and I hope that I can hit you home, because I hear my voice and it's echoing out, and I know that I'm just shining. Can you really see it? How I'm just shining this light. This is something so bright you never really seen before, but I can't shut it off. I gotta keep shining like I'm a light on the hill. You see, I just gotta instill these passion in these words, just like the liquid poetry and this living water coming out of me. See, we're trying to lead people to Christ. Yeah, that's right. We're doing what any means that seems so right, because we're using the gifts and the things in our hands so these people can see that the great I Am is really the one that stills, and he is the one that is and is to come, so we can see that the world has just begun all through his love. So we're just trying to show it, and hopefully they can know it, and hopefully they can see that it all came from above, because its name's Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah! How good is that? JC Action Sports. Check them out on socials. Check them out on the website. Boys, thank you so much for joining us on 2020 today.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.